Connect multiple devices simultaneously. Internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber. Connect multiple devices simultaneously. Internet like a boss. SLT Mobitel Fiber.
Double perfume lock samaga try karanna best ever sunlight rose.
Tonight, on display, Sri Lanka in focus at the Dubai Expo National Day as Foreign Minister calls it the best platform to show off its intrinsic value.
This is one of the great attractions as far as tourism is concerned. Not just the scenic beauty of the island, but the spontaneity and the warmth of our people.
Watch Croc Shock. Dehivala coastal residents in shock after crocodile attack in the sea claims the life of veteran diver. The more the merrier. The CSC chairman says greater accessibility laid the groundwork for 160% year-on-year gains.
We had 30,000 plus new accounts opened. We also saw 63,000 investors participating last year. That was up 69% from the previous year as well.
Silver linings. Business sentiment in December records a 7-month high despite economic dark clouds. All that and much more coming up on First at 9. This Monday, the 3rd of January 2022.
ඉසේ සම පෝෂණය කර ඉසුරු ඉවත් කරමින් නැවත ඇතිවීම වළකයි. Nava Clear Shampoo.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening, welcome to First at 9, I'm Dham Kekanak. The full focus was on Sri Lanka today at the Expo Dubai 2020 as the island was celebrated there, and it gave the visitors, entrepreneurs and businessmen a glimpse into what the country has on offer. Foreign Minister G.L. Pires, who attended the event, described the exhibition as an opportunity to showcase Sri Lanka's intrinsic qualities to the world and attract tourists to the country.
Expo Dubai 2020, an event organized covering the Middle East, Africa and the South Asian region, is currently on its 95th day in the United Arab Emirates since it commenced in October last year. The Dubai Expo features 192 countries and will run until the 31st of March this year under the theme Connecting Minds, Creating the Future.
With a nice picture, I'll send it to you.
Today, Sri Lanka took centre stage at the Expo as the island's National Day was celebrated there, with Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pires and Minister of Tourism Prasanna Ranatunga representing the country today.
Today is the Sri Lankan Day at the Expo in Dubai, and there are a lot of guests, and the Sri Lankan pavilion is done by the tourist board, and they have done a magnificent task, and there are about more than 400 people visiting this stall, and they have given good comments. Even the Home Minister in Dubai, he has commended the store. This will be good to our country, and the brand name will go with the Sri Lankan name all over the world.
We regard this as a unique opportunity to showcase to the world the intrinsic strengths of Sri Lanka, the uniqueness of the Sri Lankan experience, our culture. This is one of the great attractions as far as tourism is concerned. Not just the scenic beauty of the island, our valleys, our beaches, our forests, our fauna and flora, but apart from that, the spontaneity and the warmth of our people. Then the quality of our value-added exports, our tea, our spices, our rubber products, our gems and jewelry, our fisheries exports. So all of this is encapsulated in this exhibition, and also the opportunities that are available for investment in our country.
I was honored this morning to attend with the Foreign Minister the Independence Celebration Day of Sri Lanka, and I was very honored to attend. Our countries share more than 40 years of relationships together. These are deep, and brotherly relationships, which are cemented by the presence of more than 300,000 Sri Lankans here in the UAE working and being the most productive in our community. We welcome more visitors from your great country. We look forward to more trade investments between our two countries. And we, of course, are grateful for the support Sri Lanka offers us in all our international affairs and nominations. And we know that this support will continue, and we look forward to more and more relationships with your great country.
නියම ක්වලිටියට හැදෙන අලුත් ටියාරා රස පදමට අලුත් වෙලා.
Now, as many sectors of society, including many schools, have resumed activities for the first time in the new year today, health experts made a clarion call to the public, urging them to adhere to the health guidelines and get the vaccine as soon as possible. Though the new case numbers of COVID have been under 500 over the past 3 days, experts warn of people being lulled into a false sense of security.
Many preliminary studies conducted over the world have produced data to show that the Omicron variant is much more milder in terms of virulence compared to the Delta variant. However, the World Health Organization has urged the people not to get carried away just yet, as data is still in the early stages and the variant is still new to the world. A virologist in Sri Lanka meanwhile read from the same page today, urging people to exercise caution as they started the New Year's first working week.
මූලික විද්‍යාත්මක දත්ත නිරීක්ෂණය කිරීමේදී ඔමික්‍රෝන් ප්‍රභේදයේ රෝගකාරක බව කලින් ඩෙල්ටා ප්‍රභේදයට වඩා යම් අඩුවක් පෙන්눔 කරනවා මේ මූලික වටේ නිරීක්ෂණවලදී. නමුත් ඒ தත්ත්වය ඉදිරියේදී තවදුරටත් තහවුරු කරගත යුතු තියෙනවා. ඒක හොඳ ආරංචියක්. නමුත් ඒක මූලික විද්‍යාත්මක නිරීක්ෂණයක් පමණයි මේ වෙනකොට. ඒ වගේම යම් ආකාරයක රෝගකාරක බව අඩුවීමක් තිබ්බත් මේ ඔමික්‍රෝන් ප්‍රභේදයේ එහි ඇති ශීඝ්‍ර පැතිරීමේ හැකියාවත් සමග රෝගීන් රෝහල් වලට වාර්තා වෙන ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන් සහ සංකූලතා තියෙන රෝගීන් ඇති වෙන්න ඉඩකඩ තියෙනවා. මොකද මේ රෝගය ඒ තරම් ප්‍රබල ලෙස ව්‍යාප්ති වීමක් අපි දකිනවා එන්නත් කරන්නේ ලක්වූ සමාජවල පවා. එතකොට ඩෙල්ටා ප්‍රභේදය සහ ඔමික්‍රෝන් ප්‍රභේදය සංසන්දනය කිරීමේදී එකට එකක් විද්‍යාත්මකව මේ අවස්ථාවේදී යම් ආකාරයක රෝගකාරක බව අඩුවක් නිරීක්ෂණය වෙලා තිබුණත් ඒ තත්ත්වය ඉදිරියේදී වෙනස් වෙන්නත් බැරි කමක් නැහැ සහ එහි ඇති ප්‍රබල පැතිරීමේ හැකියාවත් සමග රෝහල් පද්ධති වලට වැඩි රෝගීන් පිරිසක් ගලා යෑමේ තත්ත්වයක් ඇති වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්.
So far, the new daily COVID cases in the island have been under 500 over the last 3 days. The daily deaths have also remained under 30. At least on the surface, the situation looks to be under control. Consultant virologist at the Medical Research Institute, Dr. Nadika Janage, believes that these statistics could lull the people into a false sense of security.
MRI ආයතනයේ දැනට ඔමික්‍රෝන් වෛරසය මොලිකියුලර් බයොලොජි ලැබ් එකේ ඩිටෙක්ට් කරලා තියෙනවා 10 දෙනෙකුගේ. ඒ 10 දෙනාගෙන් ඇත්තටම 8 දෙනෙක් පිටරට සිට පැමිණි කට්ටිය. 2 දෙනෙක් අපේ රෝහල් පද්ධතිය මගින් වාර්තා වූ රෝගීන්. දැන් මාස 6ක පමණ කාලයක් තිස්සේ මේ ආවේක්ෂණ කටයුතු සිදු කරමින් තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපි දකින දේ තමයි ඔමික්‍රෝන් පිටරට ඉඳන් එන කට්ටියගේ ඩිටෙක්ට් වීම පටන් අරගෙන තියෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව සමාජයනුත් තැන් තැන් වලින් බොහොම අඩුවෙන් ඔමික්‍රෝන් ඩිටෙක්ට් වෙනවා. මෙහිදී තේරුම් ගත යුතු දේ තමයි මේ ජාන අනුක්‍රමිකතා විශ්ලේෂණ කටයුතු අපි කරන්නේ නියැදි පරීක්ෂාවක් මගින්. ඒකින්ද ඇත්තටම මේ වෙලාවේ සමාජයේ මේ වෛරසය පැතිරෙන එක 100% අපිට ඩිටෙක්ට් කරන්න බෑ. අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ මීට සතියකට හෝ දෙකකට පෙර තිබූ තත්ත්වය ඒ නියැදි පරීක්ෂාව මගින් නිර්වචනය කිරීමයි. මොකද මේ පරීක්ෂාව කිරීම සඳහා යම්කිසි කාලයක් ගත වෙනවා. ඒ කාලය ගත වන විට අපිට ප්‍රතිඵල ලබා දීමට කොහොමත් අන්තිමට සතියක් හෝ සද්දයක් යනවා. ඒක තමයි සාමාන්‍ය තත්ත්වය මේ පරීක්ෂණයේ ස්වභාවය. ඒකින්ද අපි තේරුම් ගත යුතුයි අපිට මේ වෛරසය පැතිරීමේ ප්‍රමාණය නිර්වචනය වෙන්නේ හැම විටම සතියක් දෙකකට පස්සේ.
As it has been articulated by various medical professionals, Dr. Janagi too stressed the importance of the vaccine in tackling Omicron and COVID as a whole. The message is to get the jab as quickly as possible.
ඔබ වැඩිහිටියෙක් නම් එන්නත් මාත්‍රා දෙකක් ලබාගෙන තියෙනවා නම් මූලික වටේ දෙවෙනි මාත්‍රාවෙන් මාස 3කට පසුව අමතර එන්නත් මාත්‍රාව ලබා ගත යුතුයි. ඒ වගේම ඔබට එන්නත් මාත්‍රා දෙක ලබාගෙන ඊට පසුව තහවුරු කරගත් පරිදි කොවිඩ් රෝගය වැළඳිලා තියෙනවා නම් එම කොවිඩ් රෝගය වැළඳුණු දින සිට මාස 6කින් අමතර මාත්‍රාව ලබා ගත යුතුයි. ඊට අමතරව අපි දන්නවා අපි අතර ඉන්න ප්‍රතිශක්තිකරණයේ දුර්වල වූ පුද්ගලයන්. ඒ වගේ අයට අපි අමතර මාත්‍රාව නිර්දේශ කරනවා දෙවෙනි මාත්‍රාවෙන් මාසයකට පසුව. ඒගොල්ලන්ට මාස 3ක් සිටීමට අවශ්‍ය නැහැ.
A diver was killed today in the seas off Dehiwala following an encounter with a crocodile. The 57-year-old, who makes a living by selling tropical fish, had gone out to sea with several other divers this morning. But as he was making his way back from deep seas at around 10:30 a.m., he had been snatched by a crocodile. Eyewitnesses say that the crocodile caught him by the shoulder and was dragged under. But another group of divers had seen what was unfolding and had dropped a boat anchor on the reptile, which had prompted the reptile to release the diver. Though they attempted to take him to the Kalubowila hospital, he had died on the way. The deceased was a father of one from Ratmalana. Locals, meanwhile, threaten to take the law into their own hands if the Department of Wildlife fails to address the situation. The Colombo Commercial High Court has dissolved the enjoining order which prevented the payment on letter of credit to the Chinese company Qingdao Sivin Biotech. The company shipped a consignment of organic fertilizer to Sri Lanka, which was later rejected over the presence of harmful bacteria in its samples. The enjoining order on the payment to Qingdao Sivin Biotech was dissolved as all parties had agreed for a settlement. The Prime Minister's office today rejected certain media reports which claim that Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa is set to resign from his position. The Prime Minister's media secretary said that there is absolutely no truth to the reports published on mainstream media and social media over the past couple of days and today, claiming that Prime Minister Rajapaksa will resign from his position. Issuing a statement, he added that they strongly reject those false reports intended to mislead the public.
Big 3.
Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, Chairman of the Colombo Stock Exchange, Dumit Fernando, credits increased accessibility and a massive influx of new investors for the bourse's stellar performance for 2021. Fernando explains that the current low interest rate regime has forced investors to seek out alternatives, and the stock exchange has been their main go-to destination. The all-share price index is currently up 80% for the year and 160% improvement from 2020.
According to Colombo Stock Exchange Chairman Dumit Fernando, both stock indices have shown a strong performance in the pandemic year, with the ASPI up by 80% and the S&P SL20 also following suit by around 60%. This, he says, comes down to a couple of significant factors.
There were a number of factors that drove this, and we've been talking about these for the better part of the year, including the low interest rate environment, which gave the impetus for many investors to seek alternative investments within the equity markets. We also saw great corporate earnings. We had record corporate earnings growth over the last few quarters, partly due to the bounce back from the pandemic, but partly due to a strong performance in some of the manufacturing sectors, the export sectors, as well as the low cost of financing that corporates have enjoyed.
Further, he also says that this was possible due to the efforts by the CSE to ensure greater accessibility, such as through its digital drive, which has made the bourse a more active place with average daily turnover of 4.9 billion rupees, which is a 160% improvement from 2020.
For us, I think we put in a lot of effort in making the Colombo Stock Exchange more accessible to people. We had 30,000 plus new accounts opened. The digitalization initiative that was pushed through was a big part of that. We also saw 63,000 investors participating in the Colombo Stock Exchange last year. That was up 69% from the previous year as well. If you look at the other key stakeholder for us, which is the issuing companies, the corporates, we had a record year of 13 new IPOs after a long drawn period of very few IPOs. And some of these were performing extremely well or still performing extremely well. And every single IPO was oversubscribed on the very first day. So that shows you the demand in the market for new listings. We're proud to say that we had 120 billion plus rupees of new capital raised in form of debt and equity through the Colombo Stock Exchange.
In the meantime, Fernando also laid out the CSE's plans for 2022, such as the introduction of a host of new products and issuance boards, which includes a multi-currency board for exporters to raise forex.
We are hoping to introduce the infrastructure to allow stock borrow loan and as well as short selling this year in 2022. We are also starting work in collaboration with the Securities and Exchange Commission to establish a central counterparty which would further reduce the risk of trading on the Colombo Stock Exchange. We are also introducing some new products and new issuance boards, a multi-currency board that will be open to local companies very soon. So companies like export-oriented companies should be able to raise capital in foreign currency or in dollars as they wish. We also are looking at a few other new products, gold-backed products, mortgage-backed products, etc., that can be traded on the exchange. So putting all of these together, I think we are optimistic about 2022 for the Colombo Stock Exchange as well as the investor community. And we hope that we can deliver on most of our goals within the year and keep the strong performance of the exchange going through to the end of the year as well.
Business confidence in the month of December has spiked to a 7-month high despite fears about the overall economy. According to the latest LMD Nielsen IQ Business Confidence Survey, December recorded a 10-point increase, bringing the index to 119, which is a major year-on-year improvement of 36 points.
Despite comments by eminent economists at various public forums calling for a restructuring of the Sri Lankan economy to avoid heading towards an eventual painful disorderly default, the LMD Nielsen IQ Business Confidence Survey paints a slightly more positive picture among the country's business community. According to the latest survey results published today, the Business Confidence Index has gained 10 points to end at 119 for the month of December, which is a 7-month high. This marks a significant improvement to the index from a year ago, when it stood at a meager 83 at the height of the country's pandemic battle. December's 119-point improvement marks a 10-point gain over the index's 12-month average. Commenting on the gain, Nielsen IQ Director Consumer Insights Terika Mianadenia says that as businesses, people and the nation look forward to a better year, business confidence is likely to continue rising as corporates formulate new strategies to salvage and improve on what was lost during the pandemic in 2021. However, she warns that the outlook might not be as positive for consumers, noting escalating prices of goods and services and increasing shortages. She adds that due to this, there may be a need for a continued tightening of belts in the future. In conclusion, Mianadenia says that despite the business confidence, Sri Lanka's economic challenges are likely to continue and will hinge on how the government plans to avert a state of economic failure.
Now then, Sri Lankan shares started the new year with all-time highs today as financial and industrial stocks climbed, building on the index's massive 80% surge last year. The CSE All Share Price Index leaped 3.3% to 12,625 points, marking its best year since 2010. Today's gains were biggest since the 27th of September and extended the index's rally into a fourth straight session. Meanwhile, the S&P SL 22 gained by almost 3% to close at 4,348 points. With that, here's more detailed report on today's stock market performance.
Today we saw a massive bull run in the market with the index climbing by 400 points, one of the highest gains that we've seen. It's a couple of reasons why the significantly high level of buying interest is coming into the market. Basically, there were a lot of IPOs in the month of December and most of those IPOs have finished and the refunds have come back to the investors, and that gives stronger buying power for the investors. So in addition to that, we are also recorded some increase in the foreign reserves levels and successful swaps and credit lines happening. So that is also positively affecting the investors. So there seems to be a significant flow of funds coming into the market from fixed income with the negative real interest rate scenario, and that is positively affecting the market. Today, close to 10 billion of turnover was recorded, 9.6 billion to be exact, and in the number of transactions are very high. 73,000 transactions have been recorded.
There has been no change to the Sri Lankan rupee against the US dollar, with the new year dawning, with it continuing to remain at the central bank's peg rate of 202.99 cents. Now with that, let's take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee fared against other major currencies during the day. Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa says the cabinet decided to appoint a minister for each donor country to discuss and provide solutions to the current economic situation in the island. And that's it from all of us here at First at 9. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.